All right, hey there. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about the TSP plan, some of the upcoming changes with the mutual fund window scheduled to open summer of 2022. I'm sitting down at the kitchen table today updating my family's plan. My wife, of course, is a federal employee, so we're looking at her TSP plan and we're going to see whether or not this mutual fund window might be a good fit for a portion of the account. All right, so just a little background on what a mutual fund window is. It's a separate account that you're going to set up and be able to access actively managed mutual funds away from the core funds that are in your TSP. As we know now, there's just 5 offerings: C, S, I, G, and F, as well as the life cycle funds. So the idea is you're going to be able to get in there and create more of a complete asset allocation plan and fill some gaps in the different investments that are available outside of just the 5. So what does it entail? It sounds like a good thing, but there are some costs and some drawbacks associated with it. So the TSP board has come out and said you can only move 25% of your account into the window, and you have to have a $40,000 minimum account balance to get started. So that would mean you can move $10,000 to get started into the account. There's a cost per trade, that's $28.75, which isn't super competitive. There's also a $95 annual maintenance fee, and there's a $55 additional maintenance fee to cover some of the admin expenses. So we're not increasing costs to people that aren't participating in the window. So I'm really interested to see what the actual funds we're going to be able to access in the window will be, whether it's going to include low-cost ETFs as well as some of those mutual funds that we're talking about, and maybe will there be any individual equities available. So that could make it much more attractive, much more viable. And I think for retirees or people trying to generate income, this could also be a pretty good option when you're looking to expand the available options to generate that income, right? The G and the F fund can be a little bit limited. So I also think it's an interesting backstory on this thing, right? The legislation was actually approved in 2009, allowing the board to offer this window because it had been asked for an extended period of time. 2015, they committed to it. So that's still another 7 years until we're talking about actually getting this thing done. Now, I know there's been a big change with record keeping, moving over to a new system, but it just seems like an extended period of time to come up with something that's pretty limited, and then you're kind of throwing out a lot of disincentive to use the actual window. So I get the feeling that they wanted to offer it, but they don't really want you to use it. I also get the feeling that they feel like the majority of participants aren't experienced enough to be able to take advantage of something like this or have an expanded menu of options, which I don't think is fair. I mean, there's over 6 million participants in the TSP plan, 800 billion assets under management. So we need more than 5 core funds to choose from. It's just not right. And I think a much better option than the mutual fund window would actually be to just expand those core funds, build out some things on the value and growth side of each asset class. When we're talking about large company stocks, mid company stocks, small company stocks, and then of course, like we were talking about, fixed income options, give us more selection, right? So I think, in my opinion, that's a much better option. And if you look at any other 401k across the country, there's way more than 5 options that exist in every plan if the fiduciaries are really doing their job as they should be. So to sum things up, I think it's an interesting option. We're going to take a look at it when we actually see what investments are going to be available to use. I mean, $150 in annual costs, it's not that big of a deal, but when you talk about $29 a trade, that can add up over time. Is it really worth it? So we'll take a look at it and see. I'll keep you posted on what we decide.